Hey, what's up, guys? So I just bought this giant whiteboard, right? And I thought it'd be kind of cool if I made a bunch of different videos using the whiteboard to help you understand different BMX specs. Because on my website, that's a big thing that people ask about, is what top tube size should I get? What does the chainstay mean? What does the head tube mean? And I have a bunch of posts going in depth on there, but I was thinking maybe a video would help explain it better. So welcome to the BMX Specs video series. If there's something that you have a specific question about, don't forget, just leave a comment and I'll make sure that I address it. If you like learning from me and you think it's kind of fun, I'm working on a project called Bmx School. And what it is it just goes really in depth and teaches you everything that you need to know to take yourself from here, beginner rider, all the way to here, like a high level rider where you can do crazy tricks on demand, maybe get some sponsors and make some money doing what you love, riding your bike. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down in the description. I'm working on it still, so fill out the form and I'll send you email updates as it progresses. And then I'll also make sure to get you in for a special deal since you were an early sign up person. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about the top tube. Now the top tube is probably one of the most important specs that you need to look at when you're buying a new frame or when you're buying a new complete bike. Here's why. The top tube has a huge impact on the way you ride, and you wouldn't expect that, right? But there's about 5 different common top tube options, and they go like this. It goes 20 inch, which is for really small riders, entry level 20 inch. Okay, so there are people who were riding an 18 inch and now they're ready to get into 20 inch. And this is the size that they're gonna want. 20.25 is for riders that are just a little bit taller than that, and it just goes upwards, okay? Usually a 21 is classified as an XL bike. And you'll see those sometimes. So like Kink has a Kink Whip that comes in a 20.5, and they have a Kink Whip XL that comes in a 21. Okay, sometimes you can go bigger, like the Sabrosa Sona XXL comes in a 21.3. And that's one of the biggest top tube sizes that I've seen. But why does that matter? It's only an inch, right? It shouldn't matter that much. So when you're shopping for a bike, this is what these different numbers mean. Okay, the length of this tube right here corresponds with the top tube length. So this is important because it has a totally different impact on your riding depending on your height and depending on the size you get. Now let me show you what I mean. Okay, so if you get a top tube that's small for what it recommends, you're gonna have a really responsive and snappy. You're gonna have a really responsive and snappy feeling bike. Now, if you get a top tube that's tall from what it recommends, you're gonna have a really controlled and flowy feeling bike. So think about riders like Chase Hawk, Corey Walsh, how they go really fast, really high, and it's just got a lot of control. They're gonna ride a top tube that's a little taller than normal. Okay, now people like Logan Martin, Jay Tui, and those crazy guys that do like triple whips all the time and stuff like that, they're riding a top tube that's a lot smaller than what it recommends. I'll give you a better example of this. So for me, I'm 6'4", and to be honest, I should be riding like a 22-inch bike. But I ride a 21 right now. However, recently when I hurt my knee, I switched to a 20.75 just so that I'd have an easier time controlling the bike. And let me tell you, double whips were so easy on that frame. It was so easy to snap around and control. However, I had a really hard time going high in the air and like landing controlled. It was really hard to air, it was really hard to do big transfers, and it felt unstable at high speeds. So now that I switched back to a 21 inch, I had a lot easier time going higher, going faster, and stuff like that. So you really need to ask yourself, what kind of rider do you want to be? And then figure out how the top tube is going to affect your riding based on that. Now there's another thing that you need to look at, and it's just a size guide. Okay, I have one on my website, but there's hundreds out there. Just Google Bmx Size guide, and it's going to tell you what size you need. Now usually it gives you a range of sizes though. It doesn't just tell you one size. So let's say it says anywhere from a 20.25 to a 20.75. Now this is where this is going to make a lot of sense, okay? The 20.25 corresponds there. The 20.75 corresponds there. Now if you want to have a balance between responsive and controlled, you're going to get what's in the middle of that, which is a 20.5. Now if you want a more flowy feeling, obviously go with the 20.75 and so on. The way that this top tube affects that frame feeling is crazy, and it's something that you would never think of. But now that you understand it a little bit more, let's talk about chainstay in the next video.